All right, so we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It has finally happened. Occasionally, we have some little bumps in the road when it comes to getting the podcast going. You know, this is kind of new technology. Just literally 6 months ago, guys, and welcome to the Rob Carson Show podcast. Hello, everyone. The thing is that we, as you do something like this, the technology advances fairly quickly. Literally 6 months ago, I was doing this. I was like, hey, look, I'm live. Look at me, everybody. I'm live. And things have changed so dramatically in the last 6 months. Now I'm doing this, okay, online with two cameras, with graphics. Nobody else is doing this, by the way. Had a special guest, by the way, Dr. Alexander Nelson, chiropractor. We're going to get into, he obviously has a website, fountainoflifechiro.com. Welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thank you.
It is really,
I'm so stoked to be here.
I honestly, I'm honored that you are stoked to be here, because I know you're a follower of the show. When I was employed gainfully by Cumulus Radio, and now you have managed to hang out and listen to the show while it's being podcast, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't mind my asking, how did you find out that I was podcasting? What did you Google? Are you a stalker? Are you a stalker? Oh my God, he's a stalker. No, how did you find out about the show, if you don't mind my asking?
You know, it must have been Facebook.
Okay.
Because
All right.
I had liked your show on Facebook when you were at the radio station.
Yeah.
So that must have been it. And then, I'll be honest, I don't stay up with technology.
Okay.
And so I got my iPhone, and I had to find out from my tech-savvy brother. I was like, hey, does my iPhone have a podcast app?
You're a young guy. You're 30 years old. and you're not up on this crap. Dude, I learned everything.
You know, I'm almost proud to say that I'm not up with that stuff. There's just other things I pay attention to.
I honestly, I've learned everything since leaving terrestrial radio. And terrestrial radio, a lot of people are like, "What is terrestrial radio?" Well, terrestrial radio is over-the-air signals. It's AM and FM signals, and it is what it is. It's it's fine. It is not a bad. It's still a great platform. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you that I've learned so much since leaving radio. I've built this studio,
dogs included,
kind of a groovy little studio. Yeah, you met all three dogs, so which I kind of worried because you knew my daughter's name and you knew and I was like, okay, stalker. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing with you. But I know I'm honored you joined me this evening. I really am. You are my Grass Monsters. Casey has been a marvelous partner in the show, and you've heard the commercials. They're a good company. And my buddy Andrew over there, he was down to his last $1,500 in the checking account, ready to close the store. And a miracle happened a couple months ago. People came in one Sunday. They sold 4 $12,000 mowers because they heard me talking about it.
Jeez.
Yeah. So $48K worth of friggin' mowers
in a day.
And it hasn't stopped. And now he can't keep up with the business. He can't keep up with the business.
Good problem to have.
It is a pretty crazy problem to have. I'm going to tell you right now, I am looking at my Facebook messaging right now. For some odd reason, I know that there are several people online right now, and you are watching. Oh, there we are. Did you hear that? I know that, but I'm not receiving the signal from you. I don't know what the deal is. Right now, I'm seeing you. We are broadcasting live. We are golden. We are cool. Here we go. Let's try that. Let's try this. I've got some issues with streaming. I'm a 50-year-old guy, so a lot of the times we have issues with streaming. I'm not sure why that is. Usually in the middle of the night.
Well, I'm not sure how much I can help.
I was going to say, let me go ahead. I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. I'm going to get rid of that, and let's see if this is going to clear up the issue. I greatly apologize. Sometimes with and nothing against AT&T, but occasionally we do have some issues with AT&T. We are live. Okay, we are certainly live. And like I said, guys, I'm going to do my very best to get us back on so I can communicate with you. In the meantime, I know that there are many of you listening and watching right now. And we're going to talk about, see, look at that. It's weird. We've got several people on right now. Post engagement is up. Okay, video time watch. We've been on the air for 5 hours. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what you do. Okay, you do chiropractic care. 20 years ago, I remember the first time somebody approached me about chiropractic care, and I said, "That's crap, man." Has that started to die down? Because I know insurance is covering it.
Right.
Has it started to die down a little bit? Are people finally going, okay, it works. Can we just move on?
Maybe it has, but honestly, it comes in droves. Yeah. You'd be surprised how people come in and they want help, but then they're like, "But you're not going to kill me, right?"
Oh, dear Lord. Really? Really?
It's like, no, it's fine. Well, sometimes I like to mess with them. I'm like, well, I lost one last week, but that was my first one.
No, the thing is about chiropractic care, and I didn't become a real believer. A couple of things. If you don't mind, do you mind being,
Nope.
sharing some stories?
Let's hear it.
A few years ago, when my son was a toddler, and he was a pretty big kid, and I threw my sciatic out, and you know how ungodly painful that can be, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's debilitating. It's debilitating. My wife has had that happen. She actually had to go in and have a disc. She had to have collagen and all sorts of stuff injected in her body and everything. I was in absolute agony, and I threw it out. And the only thing, like, for instance, that would make me feel better is to go lay down. There we are. Okay, cool. Ha ha. Hello, Colleen. Hello, Greg. How are you? Sorry about the issues with the stream, whatever. It kind of happens. But I was in so much agony. I'd go up and I'd take a cold shower or a hot shower. I'd spray my back, and then I'd go lay down on the floor. I would go lay down on the floor.
Sure.
And the wooden floor would help me to kind of. My son comes screaming out of the kitchen. He runs out and he jumps on me, and I'm thinking, "Oh, And I sat up and I was fixed because the nerve had been pinched, I guess, and he popped it out. Then
future career.
Why not, right? Then a few years later, well, let me ask you that. Okay, then I'll segue to my other story because I don't make this just about me. Why chiropractic care? What's it all about? What's it all about? For those who don't understand, what does chiropractic care do for people?
Chiropractic care can help out with so many things. At the heart of it, what we want to do is we want to adjust the spine and other joints of the body to help take inflammation off those joints, take muscle spasm down, and that's going to get rid of the pain. And that's what we're best at, whether it's headaches, neck pain, mid-back pain, low back pain, ankle injuries, knees, hips, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Now, let me ask you about the different things that you do.
Sure.
When you are approaching a patient, when you are, I'm having an issue with the stream here. I greatly apologize. I'm sorry. We have some issues here. Let's go ahead and look and see where we are. I apologize, guys. I hope we haven't had any issues. I think, yeah, okay, we're still cool. I apologize. I don't know what the deal is right now with my AT&T wireless, but it is causing me some issues. Something went wrong. Try reopening your browser. It just figures this would happen. Right now, I know that we have people watching. I'm just having issues with, let me sign out and sign in. Is chiropractic, I've had a number of things work for me and a couple of things that kind of were not as good. Mm-hmm. I know that, for instance, I've done the acupuncture. Do you do acupuncture?
We don't. That's
okay.
One thing we
because
don't
it didn't work for me.
Oh, good.
It didn't work for me.
Yeah, forget it.
It was a nice thought. I thought that maybe it would work. It seemed credible, but it didn't seem to work for me.
Sure.
What are the services that you offer that people might be familiar with or maybe not be familiar with?
At the Fountain of Life, or the fountain that we like to call it, we treat, what I like to say is we look at the adjustment a lot like working out. It's going to go better with a warm-up. So people are coming in with aches and pains, headaches, and then there's an array of neurological disorders that I like to take care of, which we can talk about later. So what we like to do is put patients on therapies ahead of time. Like we have roller beds. That's going to warm up the spine. Okay. It's all about getting the stuck areas, the areas that aren't moving enough, to release so that the muscles release, no more muscle spasm, no more inflammation, no more pain. Mm-hmm. So that warms it up. Okay, that's warming up the spine.
Okay.
Then we have this big, awesome, I'd like to say certain words to describe it, machine that patients love.
Okay.
They will fight over. It's called a hydromassage bed.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about.
Have you done
and maybe this is not exactly like what they have at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
It is? Okay.
People, but
With you, it is a controlled. You are in control of it. You know exactly how it's going to work.
Yep.
At Planet Fitness, it's kind of thrown in there, and you just go lay down on it.
Yeah, no, we
It's
have
like the massage chair.
Yeah, we have patients that fight over it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yep. So we have that, and then we might do electrical stimulation before the adjustment.
Okay. Let me ask you about that, because I've had that done many times.
Yeah.
Why? What is it about that? And what does it do essentially? Because it sounds like it stimulates the muscles.
Yep.
To contract and expand and whatnot.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So the whole point there is you want to get those tight muscles contracting, because when they get contracting, they get tired out. When they get tired out, they can't cause problems.
Okay.
So we want to kill the muscle spasm.
All right.
Then we can get you guys on the table and do the adjustment. And there's still things that we do at the table to warm things up. Like we have handheld massagers and adjusting instruments.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about chiropractic adjustment. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, we're talking to Dr. Alexander Nelson. The website is www. I hate saying that. Everybody should know that it's fountainoflifechiro.com. Fountainoflifechiro.com. Chiropractic adjustment. What does it do? What does it do?
So with the chiropractic adjustment, it's going to help take the stuck segments or the stuck bones of the spine. The way I explain it to patients, there's 24 bones in the spine. They all need to move. We're going to adjust the ones that don't move. Because when they don't move, inflammation sets in. That's going to cause pain. Muscle spasm sets in. That's going to cause pain. And then most of all, and most importantly, it stresses out the nervous system. Because when that's not moving, then the nervous system is trying to work harder to get those areas of the spine to move. So when you get adjusted, it's going to relax the nervous system. It's going to take the pain away almost instantly.
Okay.
Reduce the inflammation, help reduce the muscle spasm.
Inflammation is a really big thing.
Yes.
And I know that sounds boring, but and this sounds like maybe stuff that, say if you're 25, it's like, no big deal. No, it happens pretty soon.
With time.
Things happen. Things happen. I had mentioned to you, I've got a neck issue, and it's right here. And this is obviously, I think, one of the discs in between vertebra and my neck.
Yep.
Maybe you could know. It has been a agonizing issue. I think it was created when I worked at KCMO, just the way I was sitting.
Of course, KCMO.
Yes, of course. and literally, it has caused my all the way down my arm to my hands to affect my hands. I've done a little bit of research on it, and it has caused issues with my hands and this, and even to the point, is this odd that this area around the neck, around the back here, the skin is kind of sensitive to a deep point. Like I can feel sensitivity. Is that common? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, especially for people that do a lot like what you do, all the computer work, all the leaning forward. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like a disc issue.
And now obviously there are points where you are, you get to a point where, okay, chiropractic is going to do so much. At what point, if for instance, say, you are, you've tried everything, do you recommend folks, there's a point where you go, okay, you better go have that disc shaved?
Absolutely.
You got some of that? Okay.
Absolutely. At the office, we really do pride ourselves on helping people get out of pain. That's the biggest thing that we do up there. Gotcha. And I say up there because we're practically up by the airport. That's where we're at.
Okay. All right.
Way up in the Northland. All right. Just so everyone knows.
Where are you, by the way, for those who want to know? Where are you exactly?
Congress and Berry Road.
Okay.
It sits right behind of a Sonic of all places.
Okay.
Right behind of Park Hill High School.
Why? Oh, Parkville. Okay. Very good. Mm-hmm. Very good. Let me ask you this. Why did you get into this, man? You're a young dude. You're 30 years old.
Right.
Why'd you get into this? And what made a believer out of you? What made you believe? Because honestly, I don't think you look like you're a pro. You look like you're not here to mess around. Why did you get into this, man?
I was 19. Not to get all long story personal.
Sure.
19.
No, please do. We got plenty of time. There's no limit here. We can talk forever. Okay, go ahead.
No commercials. All right.
Exactly. Except for yours, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So 19 had just boatloads of low back pain on and off all my life. I was in school aspiring to be a mechanical engineer of all things. Yeah. Also working at an Albertsons. So at that point, I was making full-time benefits, had 401k actually, but it was as dorky as it sounds. I was living a pretty good life at that point. Yeah. So started going to the chiropractor, and
better than radio, I'll tell you that. There's no job security in it.
Yeah, well, there wasn't job security in that store because they're almost out of business.
All right.
So my mom started going to a chiropractor, and then she said, "Hey, maybe he can help you." So with about 3 or 4 months after that, just completely changed my life. Got me back on track. I was able to do everything I wanted to do, including working in the store. One thing led to another, and he goes, "Hey, how much do you make over at that grocery store?" Okay. I was like, "Well, almost $16 an hour. I'm due for a raise, and I got benefits and all this other stuff." He goes, "Well, I can't do that." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I know you're interested in this. Why don't we talk? Maybe chiropractic would be something for you."
Really?
So he essentially got me into it.
Okay.
His name's Dr. David Warman. He's out of Illinois at this point. And so he got me into it. And one thing led to another, and I just said, well, forget it. I took a leap of faith. My parents were a little worried about me at that point. Quit the job and switched majors, if you will, to focus on more pre-med classes.
Okay. All right.
And I started working for him. And I got to work for him for years before even going to school while I took care of my undergrad. Okay. And so I was exposed to this very early on in that sense, and then went to school, got through school, and I've been out about 5 years now.
Okay. Real quick, just because I know you're watching, I just can't receive your messages right now. If you would like to write me personally, hello right here, write me at carsonontheradio@gmail.com, carsonontheradio@gmail.com. You can also text me. I'm going to go ahead and give you my cell phone because I love you guys and you're awesome. Here you go. Text me 301-943-8877, 301-943-8877. This is interesting because I could see you are watching. Unfortunately, I don't know, for some odd reason, I'm not being able to see your live comments. So no matter where you are, I know, Ryan, you're watching, brother, because you're the man. You the man. You the man. If you have questions about chiropractic care, Dr. Alexander Nelson is joining me this evening. And I'll just tell you right now. Look at me. I thought chiropractic care was crap. I really did. Years ago, I thought it was crap.
You and everyone else.
And then I realized it was life-saving, life-changing. And I had mentioned earlier, I had a heart attack when I was 31 years old because I threw a blood clot and I had strep throat. Strep throat is deadly. Don't mess with strep throat.
Yeah, it is.
And I had 104-degree temperature, went to the hospital, had a heart attack, went from bench pressing 350 pounds to not being able to lift my hands above my head. All right? That's what happened to me. About probably 7 or 8 years later, I'm feeling pain in my chest and my arm again, and I'm like, God, oh, God, I'm going to need whatever. I'm going to need stents. I'm going to need this. I've got heart disease, all this. And I went and I saw a sports medicine doctor, and they confirmed that. They said, you got to go get a nuclear stress test on your chest and all this and all that. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I decided to go see a chiropractor. And I laid down, and this is in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking because sometimes when they adjust, it makes noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's and I set up, and it never happened again.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to go to the doctor. And I went and got just a stress test, not the nuclear.
Yeah.
And they said, your heart's fine.
Yeah. Follow up, right? Yeah.
Tell me about how just the spinal misalignment can mess with your body.
Well, and that goes back to relaxing the nervous system. So when those joints of the spine aren't moving, it's going to stress out the nervous system, because the number one job of the spine is to let the brain know where it is. And this is all kind of geek speak, if you will. But if those joints are jammed up and the brain doesn't know what's going on, it goes into stress mode. So it goes into fight or flight sympathetic mode, which is heart attack, right?
That's what and listen, fight or flight is when your blood vessels constrict. when you're only meant to experience this for 60 seconds.
Heart beating.
To get the hell out of if you have that more than a few days, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah. And,
gotcha.
And a lot of people live stressful lifestyles.
Yeah.
So they are in constant fight or flight. And the best trick, and when it comes to chiropractic, is let's get people adjusted. It helps take them out of fight or flight. Yeah. And you got things like weird heart situations going away. Mm-hmm. People can sleep. Yeah. They're more focused. Yeah. Constantly, even if we don't talk about this with patients because we're just focused on whatever their main complaint is, they come in and they say, hey, you know what? I didn't mention this, but I just feel better. Yeah. I can actually do my work more efficiently. I'm not at work as long. All of those things.
Mm-hmm. What about working out and athletics and whatnot? Because I like to go to the gym, even though I'm trying desperately to lose some weight right now and getting there, feeling good. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to working out, what can and I don't want to make this sound like I don't want to make this sound like an infomercial because I'm fascinated by this and I want you to be fascinated by it as well. And Dr. Alexander Nelson is joining me. This is not like Weekends on KCMO. Well, Weekends on KCMO, just terrible programming. It's all infomercials. This, I really want you to listen to what the guy has to say because get past the thinking this is bullcrap. Realize this actually really, really works for you. Say, for instance, you've been going to the gym forever and your workouts are trailing off because you feel like crap and there's this going on and this going on. Say I'm a 50-year-old dude. Could chiropractic go, okay, let's reignite this. Let's make you feel better. Let's get you feeling like you did when you were working out a decade ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is that? Help me out here.
Well, it goes back to let's get the muscle spasm down. Let's get those joints moving. Let's take the aches and pains away. When people get off the table, I always joke around. I'm like 5 years younger, and they laugh. And I'm like, well, get up, move around. They're like, holy crap, I do feel 5 years younger.
Oh, yeah. Because
there's no pain. There's more range of motion. They feel more relaxed overall, and they're ready to take on the world.
You by the way, insurance is beginning. It really, actually, I'm not beginning. It has for a while, really begun to recognize chiropractic as a legitimate therapy.
Yes.
Well, now they wouldn't do that unless they thought it was really working.
Yep.
For instance, I know chiropractic is probably less expensive than a nuclear stress test or whatever. And I don't think it's just the insurance company goes, okay, go, just do that. It'll save us some money. No, because you're going to come back and go, it didn't work.
Yep.
But it does.
Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah. And for everyone that knows me listening, I'm a geek at heart. So when I'm not adjusting patients or hanging out with the family, I'm studying, I'm reading research, which I need to thank my lovely wife, by the way, Lauren. I love you. She's letting me be here.
Very good.
Yes. And she knows that more than anyone. And all the greatest research out there shows that we help put people back to work sooner, like workman's comp. There's a reason why, for instance, we take care of so many KCPD and firefighters and first responders. All of their benefits are paid for as far as chiropractic. And up at the Fountain of Life, we have 3 massage therapists. And these guys get massage therapy benefits as well.
Gotcha.
And that's something I take so much pride on, and is taking care of those guys. But there's a reason why the insurance pays 100% for them, because they know that the ones that are going to go get adjusted are going to have less major life issues that are going to cost the insurance a lot of money.
Gotcha. By the way, everything's rolling. Everything's rolling very well. I've reconnected with where we are as far as Facebook, and I'm able to find out where you guys are listening and all of that stuff. Want to say hi to Lance, to Ryan, to Colleen, to Greg, to Sam, to Steve. All of you guys, thank you for listening. Again, we are talking to Dr. Alexander Nelson about chiropractic care, and I'll just be completely honest. The dude's my first sponsor on the radio show. All right? It's a big deal. And I'm not doing this just to kiss his butt. I'm doing this because, listen, I'm not going to just accept anybody as a sponsor. I'm not. I didn't at KCMO. I've never done it before. I don't just accept people as sponsors. I have to be able to say that I had this work for me. I haven't had you look at my neck, but dude, I would love to have you look at my neck.
We'll look at your neck.
I would. But I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have had you in. I've had some other people kind of approach me and say they want to be part of the podcast, and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. But I wouldn't have had you here if I had not realized the benefit of what you do.
Yep.
I just think it's you don't understand. And listen, there's nothing wrong with traditional medicine, but I'm going to tell you just real quick. Nothing against traditional medicine. But right now in our country, in the United States of America, we have more people dying per year than died during the Vietnam War from opioid, pain med abuse, and overdose and heroin abuse.
Yeah.
Medicine right now is over-prescribing pain meds. This is a big deal for me because I work with foster adopting care. 85,000 kids a year are being taken away from their parents because mom and dad are abusing opioid pain meds, and then they can't get the drugs anymore because the doctor won't write the prescript, and then they go to heroin. Okay? Maybe this is a surprise to you.
Well, I didn't.
So what?
Something you don't think about. Yeah.
What about pain management? What about pain management in chiropractic?
You're right.
I'd like to know.
Well, that's where the most.
I've done my research on this, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
In case you didn't know.
And that's where the most research is. That's what we do the best at.
Yeah.
That's why people are coming through the doors.
What kind of pain are you experiencing? What kind of pain are you able to alleviate?
Up there we do really good at herniated lumbar discs. We also, because we have a big gaudy looking machine called spinal decompression. So that literally takes the low back and it gently pulls it and it opens it up. So it lets that disc just kind of squish back into place where it should be.
Now this is what do they call that? I know we have inversion tables. We have the ability to stretch the body.
Yep.
So basically what you're doing is you're separating the vertebrae. You're able to take the nerves that are pinched and or the vertebrae and maybe relax them a little bit. Maybe the nerve will slip out, right? Essentially, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yep. It takes the disc. It allows the disc to get off that nerve when it's herniated and bulging and literally pressing on it. But it's done systematically. So you let it stretch, and then you let it relax, then you let it stretch. And most of the time when people come off that, we have to do a series of sessions. But that's what we do a lot of there. Everyone nowadays has what's called text neck.
Okay.
That is honest to God a real thing.
Is that what this is?
That's pretty much text neck.
Tell me what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's that whole let's live our lives like this now. Everyone's doing this. Yeah. I even see commercials where,
or even this when you're on the computer. That's what my deal is. It's this right here.
Yeah, and that's not any better.
When I was at the radio station, it's low chair, this dude, and this is bad, and then this is bad.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I had issues. I've had issues with my neck. When you have too many pillows under your head, you are going to manifest all sorts of crap.
Right.
When it's this way or it's this way, rather than just where it's supposed to be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, because your head's not meant to be in front of your shoulders. It's meant to be over your shoulders.
Yeah.
And when it's in front of your shoulders, fast forward 20 years or 10 years or however long it takes, you're going to have issues. You're going to have that pain down the arm like you have.
Yeah.
You're going to have that sensitive spot. And then it can even agitate the nerves so much that it sends those reflex shots to like your organs, like you're having with your heart. It'll do that.
This, like I said, and if you're watching, I know it's this vertebra, but is it uncommon for you to feel it around this area? Like,
when it's been going on that long, it's not uncommon.
Because it's like you'd expect it's nerves, it's in there, it's in the spine. You wouldn't expect that you could feel it when you touch your skin.
Well, the same nerves that come out of there give sensation to that area, so they go up and they give sensation, and so that way you can feel it when there is something wrong.
I just God, I'd love to fix this. You deal with a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
The people who come to talk to you. Are you their first or second choice? I would assume you're both. I would assume that you're both.
Yep.
First choice is, I know this works.
Yep.
Second choice, when people go, all right, I've got to try something else. I'm going to go talk to you, Dr. Alex Nelson. I'm going to go talk to you. Why have they just given up on traditional therapy? What's going on?
That brings up a good point, because you bring up like the whole point of people come in and they've done everything. They've done acupuncture, they've done medicine, they've even done surgery, or whatever it may be. And so I have to say, unfortunately, more often than not, we're their last resort. And I'm not quite sure why that is. But when it comes to those,
so listen, if traditional medicine ain't working,
right,
what are you going to do?
Right. But when it comes to those people, those are the ones that we can help the most, because everything else has been done. It's like, this is bound to work. Yeah. And you're right. Those are the ones that are initially saying like, oh, it's a bunch of bull crap anyway.
Yeah.
So
I've got, and I don't know if my buddy has tried this. I've got a good friend named Gary Walker. He's a Cold War veteran, and he has had all sorts of issues with his back. And I don't know if this is just, and he's chosen not to take pain meds. He could medicate himself, but he's been in so much pain that he just endures it. I'd love to have him come and talk to you at some point, because it's just a mess. My nephew, Thad, American Thadiator, the Thad ass. Remember him? Mm-hmm. My nephew, who's a Afghanistan war veteran, he had 4 discs blown out in his back. Okay.
Did he end up having surgery, or did he get?
He had surgery.
Oh wow.
He had him trimmed. He had him shaved.
He had it pretty bad then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's another thing, just real quick. And I know you don't do the surgical stuff, but when like my wife, she has a vertebra or 2 that literally are squished out on either side of the spine, all the way around the spine. Mm-hmm. She hasn't had it. She's had collagen. She's had whatever injected, and it's been pretty good, but it sounds like she's kind of staving off the inevitable when it comes to surgery. Is there a point where somebody comes and says, you really ought to go in and you're going to have those discs shaved off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that point, most of the time with those people, we can start care, we can get them going, we'll get them to a certain point. Yeah. And I have to say, it doesn't happen too often, but we have to say, okay, it's time, if you really want this taken care of, it's time to do it. Steroid shot. Go talk to an ortho. See what they say.
And do you have some sort of a working relationship with other doctors in the field, or doctors in the field of, surgical doctors? You go, okay, doc, here's the deal.
Mm-hmm. A few. This isn't like necessarily a plug, but
how does traditional medicine feel, by the way, about chiro? Are they still kind of like chiropractic?
Yeah,
I went to school for 20 years.
Right.
Is there some of that going on?
It's still going on. Yeah.
All right.
It's still going on. It's a bit of a mixed bag.
I got you.
Really, all they care about is if let's say someone comes in and they've been managed by their primary with their pain, whatever it is, low back pain, but you end up helping them. That's all they care about. So, in that respect, it's getting better. But you're right. No, it's there. They definitely don't like us at times. There's definitely some animosity still, but it is getting better.
Have you been able to help with pain management so people don't have to, maybe they can lighten up on the meds, maybe they can lighten up on the Advil, maybe they can lighten up on the whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if people are coming in and they're taking some seriously heavy dose prescribed stuff.
Oxycodone, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Now, we can't, I can't sit there and say it's time to get off.
No.
I'm say you got to go talk to your doc.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Absolutely. Helping people with those nasty situations.
Pardon me for the coughing here. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
I've been talking. I did a 50-minute podcast earlier today. And when you talk a lot for a living, it's like, it can be a little bit much. So anyway, I apologize for that. You had mentioned, and I had mentioned, what other things do you treat? Because I had said to you, I think the other day, I think my left ear has been full of fluid for a while. Mm-hmm. Do you do things other than the spinal stuff? What do you do?
Yeah.
Anything? Yeah. Like what? What?
So speaking of ears, so allergies, asthma, those kind of go hand in hand most of the time, right?
That's what I think it is, because it's gotten better the last 2 days, but it was really agonizingly painful on a flight that I just took. The ear is full of fluid, and I believe it's allergies.
Yep.
I don't think there's nothing else. I'm not an adult. I'm not prone to ear infections. Mm-hmm. It's not an ear infection. It doesn't hurt.
Mhm.
I'm not experiencing any fever, whatever. What do you do for that?
So it, as weird as it sounds, we can adjust your ears.
What? Well, you stick a knitting needle in there. Let's just work that out here real quick. What do you do?
No,
I'm curious.
you got to give the ears a quick little pull, and as odd as it sounds, what that does is it opens up the eustachian tube that connects the ear
I don't doubt that.
to the back of the mouth, and it gets it opened up so you can start draining. It is wonders.
I don't doubt that at all. I really don't, because that's what it is. There's a blockage there. And if you just do a little adjustment, open it, it'll go.
Yeah.
Listen, if that didn't work, then this wouldn't work. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
A little air pressure, you can feel it in your okay, you're flying. My rule is you swallow on the way up, you yawn on the way down.
Yep.
When you're flying, you swallow on the way up, you yawn on the way down.
Yep.
And it equalizes the pressure. So you got some of that going on, but also just adjusting the soft tissue to some degree.
Mhm.
Okay, I got to come and see you. Because
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be like the Hoover Dam with this thing. Let's go.
It's just gonna soak your pillow at night.
I swear. And I've tried the eardrops, and it's just not working. And then, of course, I went to the ultimate source for this, which was asking people on Facebook. And you immediately said, Rob,
Come see me.
with me. Come on, man. What are you doing asking me? Because people are like, put vinegar in it with some water and then add some hydrogen peroxide. I'm like,
Yeah. Or do ear candling or
or the ear candling. Oh, dear Lord. Bloodletting. Let's try bloodletting.
throw a leech on it.
I swear to God. So we've got the spinal stuff. We've got and listen, I'm going to tell you about the central nervous system. You don't think about the central nervous system, and I've done some research on the central nervous system over the last few months because I've had some issues. There are things you can do to heal nutritionally your central nervous system, which controls a lot of crap, man.
Mm-hmm.
It controls hot and cold. It controls the heart. It controls all of this stuff.
Controls everything.
Do you recommend? Well, let me ask you, because I mean, there are a lot of nutritional supplements that just make your pee expensive.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They just make your pee expensive. Do you recommend nutritional supplements combined with diet? And can you give me an example of what you would recommend for whatever when it comes to your health?
Yep. Okay. So, oh man, awesome question. So people want to get healthy, right?
Yeah.
It can be as simple as they're in so much pain that they can't go to the gym. They can't go to the gym, they can't get healthy, right? Gotcha. And part of being healthy is obviously eating right. And we aren't going to we can't get all of our nutrients from our food, because, well, let's face it, our food supply is lacking in some areas and toxic in a lot.
Sure.
Now, there is work that I specialize in as well called functional medicine, where I do blood lab testing, urine testing, whatever it is, to look at various health disorders.
Gotcha. But
when people don't need all that, or they just don't want to do all that workup, then I do what I call the top 4. One of them, fish oil, omega-3s. Yep. They're anti-inflammatory. Most everyone is deficient. Okay. The next one, vitamin D. Yeah, we get vitamin D from the sun, but how often are we all in the sun? Everyone's like, well, I got my suntans and I got some sun on my arms and my face. Yeah. Well, your vitamin D is absorbed through your trunk, where you carry fat. So where it can get where the cholesterol can get converted to vitamin D. Sure. So I'll recommend vitamin D. If people want dosages, I guess generally speaking, 1,000 milligrams of fish oil, and for adults around 5,000 IUs of vitamin D.
What else? What are the other 2?
Make sure you get tested. Make sure you have your docs test you. The last 2, you got probiotics. Okay, got to take care of the gut.
The gut.
Yep, take care of that.
Yep.
And then something that a lot of people don't know about is iodine. Iodine, it's a mineral. Okay, it's a pretty special mineral because every cell in your body needs it.
Gotcha.
And it's really only found a little.
Iodine.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
It's found a little bit in leafy greens, but then you find it in seafood.
All right.
And again, we're deficient in fish oil because we don't eat a lot of fish, right? Most of us don't.
Yeah. Well,
we're going to be deficient in iodine.
We're so afraid of fat. That's the problem. Yes, and one of the things that listen, fat phobic, carb phobic, and all that crap. I think a lot of times you just listen to your body.
Yep.
Your body will tell you what you need.
Yep.
I take a D. I started taking cinnamon. I take a cinnamon. And it's kind of funny because you, unlike fish oil, when you burp fish, it tastes like you burped, you ate a cinnamon roll a little while ago. It's kind of funny stuff. So I take cinnamon.
Have you ever done the cinnamon test?
Dear God, no. No, man, are you kidding me? Well, first of all, it's
I had to ask.
It's physically impossible, and it's a terrible thing.
Oh, have you seen those videos?
It's terrible. It's terrible. You know what? And they did this thing the other day. Like 1,000 people did the cinnamon test. I'm like, how many times do you idiots have to realize you're just gonna cough and it's gonna be awful?
It's not gonna happen.
It's just gonna be awful. No, I have not done the cinnamon test. I will not do this. I'm too old to do the damn cinnamon test. Not saying that I won't do some tests like eating hot crap just to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
But I will not do the cinnamon test. I do a probiotic.
Yep.
Do you recommend like a yogurt or just or either one? Either one.
Yogurt, not actually. Most of the time, no. If you're
Really?
gonna do a yogurt, Greek yogurt, but I would actually find fermented foods like kombucha, sauerkraut, other fermented foods.
Sauerkraut. What is it? Kimchi. Woo!
Yep.
Kimchi rocks. I love kimchi.
Yep. Kefir.
My wife will never touch kimchi. I've got a rotten jar of kimchi in the fridge outside. It's almost bubbling, and she's like, "Get that out of the house!" And it's in the fridge in the garage.
Oh my gosh, that's gotta be
Because I love that
terrible.
stuff, and then I also pickle items and stuff like that.
Yep.
Real quick, also just I do hot peppers and stuff like that. Those are good for you.
Yeah.
Those are good for you.
Yep.
I'll tell you. I would assume it keeps you
Mhm.
real clean, and then also it's good for your metabolism as well, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, in the supplements that I just recommended, those are what are called essential.
Okay.
Things like cinnamon.
Yeah.
You can live without cinnamon, but it's really good for inflammation.
And I've also heard it's
Really
great.
good
It's
for
good
inflammation.
for your BP.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very good for your BP.
Yep.
So there are a lot of real positives to it.
Yep.
I don't know. I've seen the over the years the faddish supplements, St. John's wort, bee pollen,
Yeah.
shark cartilage, right? Hello, my daughter. It's my daughter Avery. Shark cartilage, all this crap, and it's like, well, sharks don't get cancer, so let's eat shark cartilage. It's kind of stupid, right? I mean, it's pretty stupid. Shark cartilage, like it's like. I took
that's
shark
obviously-
cartilage for a while. I actually bit a woman at the beach. I don't know what happened. It just kind of happened anyway.
Instinctively just came. Turned red.
Kind of happened.
Just blacked out.
I greatly appreciate you coming in here, and like I said, I wouldn't have had you in had I not said this is a good thing. This is a thing that has changed my life. Chiropractic treatment is not all of it's worked. Like I said, the shocky thing it never works for me that well. You don't do the acupuncture. I've never thought acupuncture worked. It just doesn't work for me. But I'll tell you, chiropractic adjustment has on more than one occasion gotten me to work.
Yeah.
Kept me away from going to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer. For those who want to, your practice, by the way, we've got the website up, fountainoflifechiro.com. Insurance most of the time, right, will cover.
Yep. We're in network with
procedure.
most insurances. Yep.
One more question. There are a lot of ills that you are going to, that maybe those who are watching or listening and will be watching and listening after now, because generally the audience explodes when I post it. Because a lot of times you're busy, you're making macaroni and cheese and corn dogs for the kids and all that stuff this time of night. What are some of the things that people maybe you're like, what's going on? Maybe, I don't know, I could go to a doctor. And listen, I don't want to poo-poo you going to the doctor. But what are the things generally when people come to you, they go, this is what's bothering me?
Like most of the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time it's going to be those aches and pains
All right.
because they're doing stuff like you do every day, sitting at the computer.
Yeah.
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah. Elbow
pain, tennis elbow. We have a lot of the CrossFitters that talk about fads, right? It's not a bad fad.
Those kind of things, those strenuous activities, those are the things that cause inflammation of the tendons, the joints, tendons particularly. That's what the tennis elbow is all about, right?
Exactly.
It's a swelling of that tendon.
Yep.
And you can relieve some of that to some degree. It's going to take a while.
Yep.
Obviously.
Shoulder pain, frozen shoulder. I love working on frozen shoulders.
Frozen shoulder?
Yeah.
I've never had a frozen shoulder. What is that, man?
It's so.
What is this?
It's so bizarre. I don't even know if they can really see me right now, but people cannot.
Yeah.
Lift
This is
up
delayed slightly. Go ahead.
Okay. They
They're seeing
they
it.
literally cannot lift up their arm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm talking sometimes the only way to fix this is if they have to do what's called manipulation under anesthesia. So they have to go to like a
Wow.
orthopedic surgeon, put them under, and then you don't want to know what they do to your arm.
Wow.
But yeah, frozen shoulder. I mean, let's work up. We got migraines,
Oh yeah.
regular tension headaches.
This is okay. This is I'm fascinated by this. My wife has these migraines, and she had to leave work the other day.
Oh man.
And she knows when it's coming.
Yep.
What do you do? What do you do about that?
You know, it goes back to the adjustment. Let that nervous system relax.
Okay.
The first two joints or bones up in the neck, that's all going to regulate nerve and blood flow into the head. You know.
Really?
And if the joints aren't moving, it's going to stress out the nervous system. You're going to have spasm, and that's going to contribute to those migraines. And you know, if we can't get them just completely gone, then it's like 70, 80, 90% better. And then at that point, the person doesn't even call it a headache. They're like, this is just a...
Yeah. Kel needs to do that because it's agonizing for her. And it doesn't happen very often. But she knows, and she has to come home. She has to turn off the lights. Man, look, we got a lot of people watching here. Very nice, very nice. And again, the audience will grow as we post the video, and you post it to social media, and we continue to do the audio and video podcast. I'm gonna wrap things up.
Cool.
It has been a real treat talking to you tonight, and it's been really, it means a lot for me, for you to believe enough to want to be a part of the show.
Oh, it is. It's my honor.
It really does. Frequently when you are let go from a radio station, you are forgotten, and so it's a difficult adjustment. Chiropractic. It's a little joke. Well, okay. Anyway, but it is a little bit of an adjustment, and rather than just let it happen, I've decided to rage against the machine, stay here because my family's here, my fans are here, and we're building the show, and I want to be the Kansas City's premier podcast, whether it be on video or on audio. So I'm glad to have you as a part of it.
Love it.
We'll come out. I want to come out to your practice and get adjusted. We'll share it on Facebook video and see if I can get this crap fixed, man, because
do it.
I mean, I really need to get this taken care of. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, we have, and just to see the office, and there's a lot of tech equipment that we have, and we got to talk about all the other fun stuff that we do over there.
All right. Well, I greatly appreciate you coming in today and making the drive from near the airport. Again, you are at 8335 North Congress Avenue, KC-Mo, near the airport. You are behind which school again?
So we're across the road from Park Hill.
All right. And if anybody has any issues, they can call you. They can say, here's my insurance. You can tell them immediately, okay, here's what we can do for you, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Well, Dr. Alexander Nelson, thanks, man.
Oh, my pleasure. Love it. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you in. And again, make sure to make this a bookmark on your browser, fountainoflifecairo.com. If you do go have the doc look at you, I'd love to hear from you if it worked for you. Yep. And I want you to look at my buddy Gary, because I don't know what you can do for him, if you can do anything.
Well, and he's a vet, right?
Yeah.
We do. Right. I'll tell you now, we do $30 adjustments for vets.
All right, veterans, cool.
Veterans, $30.
Do you hear that, Paul Chappa? Do you hear that, Gary Walker? $30 adjustment for veterans. There you go.
Yes, guys.
All right,
come on in.
We're gonna go. Thanks for coming in, watching tonight, guys. Greatly appreciate it. God bless. Have a good evening, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you.
You bet.